Hey, comic book fans. I'm back from the comic shop again today. And another pretty good week at the comic shop. Got 7 new comics. Few dollar comics, so it kept the price down. Unlike, what did I think I spent $30 last week. It was only $20 this week. No new library books. I'm still reading the ones I got last week. I'm really enjoying Mouse. Which I always thought I'd enjoy. Like I said, I first read Mouse when I was in college, and for some reason I was disappointed by it, but I think it was my mood at the time more than the comic, and I'm reading it now and really enjoying it. I haven't started on V for Vendetta or Watchmen yet, so they're still sitting there. But let's see what I got for free this week. It's Comic Shop News, The Marvels. Nice big Alex Ross art there. I guess this is going to be all about the new Marvels series. Make mine Marvels. You know, I never made it through the original Marvels. I never read it. Tried to read it. It's not like it was bad. It just didn't interest me. I remember I was actually working at Marvel when the art for Marvels first came through the office. And everybody was oohing and ahhing over it, including me. Because keep in mind, when Marvels first came out, no one had really seen Alex Ross artwork before. So when that stuff came to the office, fully painted, really nice, it was like, wow. I could never get into the book. I don't know why. I like Kurt Busiek's writing, but for some reason that book, I just never could get into it, and to this day haven't read. I think I made it. I may have read like half the first issue, but looks like we got some more Marvel stuff here. Deadpool, Wakanda, Empire. Oh, this is their big Empire crossover. Wolverine, the Union. What else do we got here? Last page. We've got War of the Realms. Oh, this one. Walk Through Hell. Like some indies. Oh, Micronauts. Look at that. A Micronauts Artist Edition. I'd like to see that one. Ooh. Michael Golden art. Haven't been able to afford any Artist Editions in a few years, but that one would be cool. What else do we have here? Birthright, issue number 42. And Birthright is ending at issue 48 because last issue they said this is the second to last story arc. So I guess with 4 issue story arcs it'll be till 48, which a lot of these Image books seem to. I think that's 4 12 issue hardcovers. That's why they go to 48. But big war just started on Earth with a mystical planet coming on over. Ooh, look at that. Money shot of a werewolf of some kind. I don't want to spoil it too much, so I don't want to open it any more than that. But Birthright, issue number 42. It's gotten really violent. The art has been spectacular in these issues because he's drawn big war stuff with big monsters and magic and all sorts of fun stuff. What's next on the pile? Mystery in Space. Issue 75. Is this the first Adam Strange in Mystery in Space? It must be, because I don't even know. Adam Strange, the planet that came to a standstill. Oh, and just yesterday, I finally read Green Lantern #1 facsimile and Flash 123 facsimile, and I must say, I really enjoyed Green Lantern #1 much more than I thought I would. That was a pretty darn. I'm not a huge Silver Age DC fan, but that Green Lantern #1 was especially good, and even Flash 123 was pretty good too. They introduced the concepts of alternate worlds in Flash 123 pretty well, especially for the 60s. I mean, we take that stuff all for granted now, but back then we didn't. Not that I was alive when Flash 123 came out. I think that was I was born in 66, so I think that was before 66. But yeah, I'll give this. I'm looking forward to this one more. Oh, that reminds me. There used to be a local channel in the late 70s, I think it was, that ran. It was like a local channel that told you the weather. They always had cameras aimed at like clocks and dials and barometric pressure and readings. And then for some time, they would occasionally, like at 7 o'clock at night, break in and read Mystery in Space and Sugar and Spike comics to you. It was just a camera focused in on like one of the panels. Then it would read that panel to you and pan the camera over and pan the camera over and then pan the camera up. That was the first time I'd ever seen these 60s Mysteries in Space comics, as in the late 70s when they read them to me on TV. I think you can find the show on IMDb too. It's like some little local show that DC Comics had something to do with too. But yeah, they read comics to you. That was I found that fascinating when I was 10 or 12 or 14, whatever age I was. And here's a Swamp Thing dollar comic, another reprint. I don't even think I didn't have this one on my pull list, but it was pointed out to me. It's an Alan Moore, Rick Veitch. I still have the original, which I haven't read in many years. I've recently reread the earliest Alan Moore Swamp Things, but I haven't read the anything past issue 30 or so. So it'll be was this the one with Adam Strange? Oh, there was a really good. I just see Adam Strange there. There was a really good issue with Adam Strange and Alan Moore that had a great line in it. I can't even remember what it is, but I don't think it was this one. It may have come before or after it, but good stuff. Alan Moore Swamp Thing is the cream of the crop. Really should go back and reread all that stuff. Then we've got some Avengers, True Believers. Is this the Kree Skrull War? Is this Sal Buscema or Neil Adams? Let's see. It's the Sal Buscema, Sam Granger. Kree Skrull War stuff. What issue was this? Let's see. Let's flip to the back. It's issue number 89. Kree Skrull War would have been better if Neil Adams had drawn all of it. But he didn't. So that made it a little disappointing. Now, though I am a Sal Buscema fan, nothing wrong with Sal Buscema. But Neil Adams, he was just a different type of artist. So if he had done it all, it could have been much more of an evergreen than it is now. And now it's kind of, it's a little legendary for being, one of the first big multi-part stories, Kree Skrull War. But then when you go back and read it, it's a little disappointing. It could have been less disappointing if Neil Adams had drawn all of it. Then we got another Avengers, True Believers. This is the, what is it called? The Celestial Madonna story. This is Avengers 133. And within the last few years, I actually reread this. I'd never read the whole, more Sal Buscema and Joe Staton with Steve Englehart. And the Celestial Madonna story, I think I like better than the Kree Skrull War story. Maybe because maybe because there wasn't the disappointment of the loss of Neil Adams. Maybe it was just a better story. Steve Englehart wrote this one. It was really weird. I got a hardcover collection of this for like pennies on the dollar. So I ended up rereading it and really enjoyed it. Lots of good, this period of the Avengers wasn't the greatest, but it was still fun. So I liked the Celestial Madonna. Oh, and this is the Iron Man having a nose era. Never really bothered me, the Iron Man nose, but some people don't like it. Let's see what else we got. Oh, Ragnarok. The Breaking of Helheim. Issue 4 of 6, Walt Simonson's book. I always enjoy seeing a new issue of this in the old stack. The art's great. The stories were a lot of fun. It's Thor. Thor was removed from the chessboard right before Ragnarok, thus messing up the whole prophecy, and the villains kind of won, and he came back, and now he's revived hundreds of years afterwards or something, and trying to figure out what happened. And even though the villains won, they really didn't win anything. The world just kind of exists without the heroic stuff, but it's not like the villains are doing much. But good stuff. I really enjoyed this, like that wolf cover. See that there's usually some process stuff in the back. Let's see. Oh, there we get some processed stuff on the wolf cover. Pencils, inks, finished colors, good stuff. And the last issue I got is a bit of a surprise this week. It's the Goon issue number 8. 8 is this? Did I see? Goon issue number 9. Issue number 8 came out 2 weeks ago. And now this is completely done by not Eric Powell. I don't know what's up with that. I buy the Goon for Eric Powell, so we'll see. Though the last issue he didn't draw, and it was still very good, but we'll see. I mean, the Goon without Eric Powell, we'll have to see how that is. But the story, last issue's story was the end of a story arc, and it wrapped up pretty well. And I don't know how much Eric Powell had to do that one because it had a different artist, and he was only co-writer on it. But we'll see. Fearless Dawn meets Hellboy. I have no idea who Fearless Dawn is, but pretty cool cover as they run over zombies of some sort. But we'll see what the Goon without Eric Powell is like. And now I'm going to show you the Lark Work, what I got behind me here. I finished up another big ink drawing. This is I'm trying to figure out what this one's different for me in that it's only got 2 big images in it. Like in the background is all kind of designs and patterns. But, and I see a story in it. I always see stories in these things. That's kind of the face, the woman's face, that kind of, I didn't add these markings into the very end, so that kind of pulled it all together and made it really weirder. But I kind of, and here's the helmet. I kind of see this as, she's either magically taking off a helmet or putting it on. I'm not sure which, because the helmet isn't actually big enough to fit on her head. But it either shrinks or grows. I'm not sure what. And all this magic is kind of coming out of it. This one just seems like there's just a story that goes along with it. And it's a simple story that goes along with it to me. Sometimes there are really weird stories that go along with it. And I can't always figure out what's going on. But for this one, as a simple magic helmet story with a spear and magic helmet. But there you go. We're on another one behind it. Just a monster showing so far. But yeah, another big ink drawing. I'm enjoying making them. And you guys have a good week out there.